In this example, we will use a while loop to solve an investment problem. So we will have a $10,000 as a balance. And our interest rate is 5% per year. And in year one, and our balance is 10,000, our interest will be 10,000 times 5% equal 500. So at the end of year one, our balance will become the old balance plus interest, which is $10,000 plus 500. That would be 10500. So that's our year one. Now I'm writing as if I'm already programming Java. So this equal sign in Java is basically an assignment. And the balance plus interest will be assigned to the balance variable again. And in a way, I do not need another variable called new balance. And that seems to be a common mistake for a student who just learned to programming. So if I want to update the balance, I do not need another variable called new balance. All I need is to use the equal sign to say balance plus interest equal balance. And this balance will have the new number. Okay, so this is for year one. In year two, my balance now is 10,050. So my interest now will be, interest in year two will be 10500 and 5%. That's give some number. And then my balance will in year two will be 10500 plus interest of that. And I'm going to let the computer to calculate that. And we do this for year three, all the way to year something, when our balance is more than $20,000. And this year, which I don't know yet, will be how long it takes to double our money. And if we use a while loop to, so this, I'm doing this step by step. If I use a while loop to implement this, I'll basically say while, let me change the color, say while balance less than 20K, and then I'll use a curly. And inside of the while loop, I'm going to say year equal year plus 1, because I need to calculate. Now I need to first initiate year is 0. And then I added a year by 1 to count 1. And then I'm going to calculate the interest. And then update the balance equal balance plus interest. So that's basically my step-by-step will be solved by this while loop. So that's the condition. The balance less than 20, that's the while loop condition. When that condition is met, inside of this, it will be executed. And those two curly will define this scope when the while loop condition is satisfied. We can also write a flow chart of this. The flow chart will be like using a diamond shape, say, is the balance less than $20,000? If it's true, our year will be increment by 1. And then we calculate our interest. And then we update our balance update. And we go back to see the condition is met or not. This is for true. If the balance is not, and then we get out of this while loop. And that basically is the answer. That's basically will reach our answer of year. So that is the algorithm to solve the investment problem. This is the actual Java code to implement the investment algorithm. We have a class investment with private variable balance, rate, and year. We use a public constructor to initiate the balance and the rate. The year is 0 by default. And then this is our method. Found out how many years it will take to double our money, and that's the while loop. So we first need to find out the balance less than 20. That's a conditional, and that's the balance less than our target balance. The target balance here we will be using 20,000, and then we increment the year by 1, calculate the interest. Calculate interest, and then update the balance. I remember this equal sign is basically an assignment. Now here I also added a debugging information. So I use the debugging flag. It's an integer. I said debugger is 1. If the debugger equal is 1, then I will print out the current balance using printf, and which year this is. And the class will also implement the return balance, get balance, and return year for in order to access the class if we don't use the debugging information. And then we also implemented a tester class. So the investment tester class, in this case called investment runner. So we first initial balance 10,000, rate is 5, and then we use a new investment constructor to initiate the $10,000 balance and 5% rate per year. And then we found out if we want to double that, double our initial balance, how many years it will take, and this is just return after we run the wait for balance method, and we will call the year to get the time we need to double our money, and then print out the year under the balance. Oh, only the year. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so if you recall in our sketch, so first each year you first calculate the interest and add it to balance. We update the balance. The first year is 10,500, and the second year apparently is that number, and then 3, 4, all the way to 15. Then we'll have 20,789 something. And that's the first time it go over 20,000. So it will take 15 years to double that money. In fact, if we go back to our code, if we change that to 6%, and we can find out how fast. Instead of 5%, now if we have 6%, how many years it will take? Apparently, it will only take 12 years.